Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Lost Night by Candy Atkins. I was sent this book by the author in exchange for an honest review, and so that's what I'm going to be doing today. This book follows a 13-year-old girl named Agatha, and she's living in Queens at the beginning of the book, and she very quickly finds herself in a situation where she surprisingly has to be saved by a Grim Reaper-like person. He is all black and he has big red eyes, named Jonah, and then Jonah takes her to a parallel universe called Ashra. Agatha finds out that she is not a normal human, she is something special, which is usually the case with middle grade main characters, and she has to go on a journey to help this land. And she is supposedly the Lost Knight, and she is supposed to save Ashra and save Earth in the process. The catch is that Agatha does not believe that she's qualified, and so she wants to tell them that she can't go on this journey, but she just does not know how to tell them that she is not prepared for this. As per usual, I'm going to give my pros, my cons, and then my rating, and then in the video. For pros, I think the biggest pro for me was the fantasy elements. I really liked that Candy took different fantasy elements from our world and kind of twisted them and made them her own in her book. And so a lot of the fantasy elements that we have in everyday books and everyday pop culture, they're a little bit different in this world, and I really enjoyed learning about those and seeing those. Fairies are a big one that I really enjoyed learning about. I think that their culture was really interesting, and I really liked how they're not these tiny pixie-like creatures. They're like human size, and they just have wings and can fly. I really liked that she did that with most of the mythology creatures that we know about and love. I really liked Ashra as a world and the rules within, and how the world does not have any time. The characters age, but there's no day or night. It's just all one time period. And I like that the different areas of the world have different magical laws, kind of similar to the Five Kingdoms series by Brandon Mull, and so I really liked those fantasy elements. Another pro is the incredible amount of character consistency with Agatha. I feel like a lot of middle grade main characters rapidly grow from a very shy, reserved 13-year-old boy or girl, and then they become this crazy amazing warrior within 50 pages or so after they start their training. But I love that Candy kept Agatha consistent, and she was consistently struggling and consistently scared and consistently freaked out basically the entire time. And to a point where I was kind of getting annoyed with her, but I knew that that was actually real life, and that someone that age would have that reaction to those things. And I really liked that she kept Agatha in a normal plane of reality. I really like the direction of the plot. I can see where the story is going, and I think that is going in really good places. And so I will be continuing with the series definitely to see how Agatha gets herself in trouble and how she's going to go about saving this world. Now onto some of my cons. As with a lot of self-published works, this book has grammatical errors and different errors here and there, but they start pretty much on the first page. For instance, when someone is talking and they're in quotation marks, the opening quotation mark will be backwards, or there will just be run-on sentences, and that happened pretty much throughout the entire book. And so a lot of the time I'd be pushed out of the story a little bit, and then I have to force myself back in. And so I didn't love that, and I think that it could have gone through a couple of more stages of editing, because I think that sometimes it was very repetitive. So she would describe something and then she would describe it again within the same paragraph, and the sentence was just flipped a little bit, but it was practically the same sentence. And so I think that it could have been edited a little bit more, but I mean, I still enjoyed the novel. I just think that it had a little bit too many errors in it. Another con would be that I could see where Candy was envisioning things, but it was having a hard time getting onto the page. And so sometimes the world building could be kind of confusing, and I wouldn't really know exactly what was happening, and I would just have to make inferences by myself and just guess at some things. For instance, in one scene, she's describing how Agatha keeps looking at the fairy's knees. She describes it 3 or 4 times within the same chapter, and I do not know why the knees were so fascinating for Agatha. I just don't know. And I was really curious on what made these fairies' knees so captivating and why she would be looking at them so much, but I never know, because I don't know what was fascinating, because it didn't go from the author's mind onto the page. And so I think that happened a few times, and I just wish that the world building was more concrete and that I could envision everything perfectly. And the last con I'm going to talk about is that I think that the ending was pretty I don't know, abrupt. With 20 pages left, I knew that it was going to be abrupt because I didn't think that she had enough pages left to be able to wrap up the story satisfyingly, and so it pretty much did end very quickly. And I am curious to see what happens next, but I think the ending could have been more cathartic and had a little bit more wrapped up to it, so there's that as well. Overall, I liked this novel. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I'll definitely be continuing with the series when the next book comes out. It's not my favorite middle grade book I've ever read, and I think there are areas to improve, but I think that it shows a lot of promise, and I think that Candy has a very long writing journey ahead of her. That's my review on The Lost Night by Candy Atkins. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what your favorite middle grade series is with a female protagonist. I haven't read too many now that I'm thinking about it, and so I want to read more middle grade where there's a main female character so I can give some recommendations to the many female viewers that I have. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.